Hello, hello, hello. It's me again. It's another video. Thank you so much for tuning back in. Guys, before I continue, I just want to say thank you. I've been receiving so many DMs, and I'm not even saying this like those content creators. No. But I've been receiving such amazing DMs of people who are like, yo, we need you. How can we take this further? I'm so grateful. Many of you have sent me WhatsApps and other messages just commenting on the quality and not just the quality of the visuals, but the quality of the material as well. Thank you so much. You really make this worth my while. Also, my love language is words of affirmation. So whenever I get affirmed, it just fuels me. It gets me going. I really appreciate it. Okay. Now, I have gotten this comment a lot of times in my life from a very young age till now. Mpumi, how are you so confident in what you do? And here's the thing, right? Confidence is an interesting construct in that a person who's confident isn't always confident. But then when you take a look at where the confidence comes from and where it actually stands firm and strong, you realize a pattern. And I'm saying this because there was a time in my career where I was not confident at all. And I know this because I was approached by so many people at work who would say to me, yo, we see the work you do online, we see the work you do in your business, and that person that we see online and the person we're seeing here at work are chalk and cheese, completely different people. And anyone who knows my story or has walked my journey with me will tell you for sure that the work I was doing outside of Purpose Practitioners Club was work I didn't really feel connected to, work I really didn't feel that I wanted to do. In fact, it wasn't even a feeling. I knew that I didn't want to do it because I wasn't called to it. And it wasn't even imposter syndrome. It was just, get me out of here. I don't belong. I can't offer to the space what this space requires. And so naturally, I wasn't as confident. But over here, baby, the confidence oozes. And so I want to talk to everyone who's listening today or watching about how to actually have confidence to step into your purpose and operate in that thing like you were created to, because you were. So if you were wondering, how can I actually, even though I don't know what it is, but when I do, how do I launch confidently? How do I operate confidently? And how do I give my best in the most confident and brilliant way? This is what you want to hear? Stick around. I'll give you 4 things that will solidify that confidence. All right, let's go. Okay. Thing number 1 is clarity of your purpose, guys. I did not develop the confidence to do the work that I did until I was very clear on what it is. People come up to me and say, how are you able to say so well and so crisp what your purpose is? Because a lot of people say, oh, my purpose is to serve, my purpose is to help others. But the clarity in what I do, who I do it for, why I do it, where it stemmed from, where it's going, that is what gave me confidence. The day I was clear on what my purpose is, it made everything so much better. Here's what clarity did for me. It gave me a sense of direction and meaning. I think when you're clear on something, it's like when you're driving in fog. You're not so confident to drive at your regular speed or to even drive at all because you don't see ahead, because you don't see where you're going. But once the fog clears, there's confidence. So that's what clarity does. It gives you meaning and it gives you a sense of direction. But not only that, when you're clear on something, you're able to articulate and be firm in what your goals are, what your values are, and what your impact is. So the first thing that you need to have unlocked is clarity, because outside of the clarity, the confidence won't come. Okay. Thing number 2 is knowledge. And no, it's not thing number 2 because knowledge is my first name. No, it's because you have experienced this. Tell me, when was the time you were most confident to deliver a speech or to present an idea or to go ahead with a project. It was when you were knowledgeable about it, right? So there's something that knowledge and preparation does for us that if we don't have those things, we can't step out in confidence. When you are knowledgeable, you feel competent, you feel capable. When you have knowledge about your subject matter, knowledge about what you're doing, knowledge about who you are, knowledge about where you want to go, you can anticipate potential obstacles and you know how to address those obstacles once you get there. The other thing that knowledge really helps us do is to develop effective strategies, because you have a broad perspective and even narrower perspectives here and there. You're able to then strategize around how things ought to be done, where you need to go, and things of that nature. And so really and truly, I know that when I've been most knowledgeable to stand in front of people or to even present a thought or an idea, I came out of that thing, or I showed up very, very confidently. So if you want to help yourself by being confident, you first have to start by being very knowledgeable. Acquire that knowledge, filter that knowledge, reason with it, wrestle with it, and then execute on it and present it to people. Okay. Another thing that knowledge helps you do is to adapt to changing circumstances, because you've got a very good idea. You're not caught like a deer in headlights, or you're not caught unawares when things need to change, because you've got a broad scope of knowledge. So that's what I want to say. And maybe let me reframe or pitch knowledge to you like this. Knowledge is an armor. If you know anything about war, if you know anything about military practices, you know what an armor is, right? It's that thing that they use or put on to create a defense or to protect themselves. So if you want to protect yourself from naysayers, from opposition, even from getting there and being blank, you have to arm yourself with knowledge, because that is what knowledge is. It makes you feel protected. It makes you feel secure. You have your defenses high, because you know what you're talking about and what you're doing. I'm going to give you an example from the Bible that I really thought was very funny when I read it. So in Acts chapter 19, what we find is that Paul was doing really amazing things. He was performing miracles. Anyone who touched his handkerchief or his apron would get healed. So people would really pass down his items of clothing, or his items generally, because they carried with it so much power. So these sons of Sceva, they're called sons of Sceva, come to town. They've heard all these amazing things that are happening, right? They come to town and they start purporting like they are people who perform miracles as well, like they are exorcists, right? So they see this guy who is demon possessed, and they go to him and they say, and I want to read it here because I thought it was very funny. They say, we command you in the name of Jesus Christ, the one whom Paul preaches, to come out. And the demon says, Jesus I know, Paul I know, who are you? And what that demon did out of frustration was get into the sons of Sceva. Now I'm using this example because I found it so amusing. This demon was confident to attack them because it had a knowledge of who it was dealing with, right? And so I want you to have the audacity of this demon to say, we know that. Who are you? And that's what knowledge does. It empowers you. It enables you to step out confidently. And that's what I want you to take out from this piece of the content. Another thing is that these guys, right, they were left defenseless because they didn't know what they were doing. You see, these demons attacked them and left them defenseless. They did not have an armor because they did not know what they were doing. So if you want to be protected, if you want to have a defense, please arm yourself with knowledge and see how you show up. The third thing is power. If you want to step out confidently in your purpose, you have to understand the power that is at work in you. And maybe let me just, before I read what I want to read right now, I just want to say, I'm a God girl, right? And nothing about what I share or do shoves down my God or my belief down anybody's throat. I use the Bible as a manual and a guide, and I find in it such amazing practical lessons to move us forward. So when you see me refer to the Bible, it's because I really believe there's something in there that will help on our journey. It's not because I'm trying to shove it down your throat. It's not even about that. Okay. I want to read Ephesians chapter 1, verse 18, 19, and 20. And listen to what it says. Listen to all the words I'm going to say. And I pray that the eyes of your heart, the very center of you and core of your being, may be enlightened, which is flooded with light by the Holy Spirit, so that you will know and cherish the hope, which is the divine guarantee and the confident expectation to which he has called you. Remember, we are still talking about purpose, right? The riches of his glorious inheritance in the saints. Right, let me keep reading. And so that you will begin to know what the immeasurable and unlimited and surpassing greatness of his active spiritual power is in us who believe. These are in accordance with the working of his mighty strength. I'm reading this because I want you to know that the same power that raised Jesus from the dead is operating in you today. So understanding the power that backs your purpose should give you confidence to step out in that purpose. The last thing I want to read is 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 6 and 7. That is why I remind you to fan into flame the gracious gift of God, that inner fire, that special endowment which is in you through the laying on of my hands, with those of the elders at your ordinance. Listen to number 7. Verse 7, for God did not give us a spirit of timidity or cowardice or fear, but he gave us a spirit of power and of love and of sound judgment and personal discipline, which are abilities that result in a calm, well-balanced mind and self-control. And I found this very important because I think a lot of the times when you think about confidence, the opposite is fear. It's timidity. It's cowardice. And I want to say to you that spirit, it did not come from the God who gave you the purpose that he gave you. And so I really want to read here what I wrote. I said, when we allow ourselves to be intimidated, we neutralize our effectiveness for God. Don't allow yourself to be intimidated by the crowd, by what people are going to say, by your lack of experience, or whatever other thing. You have been given a spirit of power, of love, and a sound mind. So with that power and that sound-mindedness, please step out into your purpose confidently. The last thing I want to say is that if you want to step out confidently in your purpose, you're going to need help. You're going to need help. I'm thinking about so many great athletes. I'm thinking particularly of Serena Williams and her sister. These two are such great tennis stars because it's in their training, it's in their physique that they're able to do all that work. But a lot of their success can be attributed to the help that they receive in the form of a coach, whether it's a mental coach, a tennis coach, or whatever else. Help is very crucial in helping you step out on your purpose. And again, I love using the Bible. There's a story we read there of Moses who was being sent to Egypt. And Moses says to God, me, I can't even. And God says, okay, all right. Because you stutter, and that's the excuse you're using, let me give you Aaron, your brother, who is very articulate, to help you. And together, they went to Egypt and they completed their task very successfully. The children of Israel came out of Egypt because Moses had help. I'm glad that he recognized that he needed the help and God gave him the help. And so when God assigns you your purpose, he supplements your weakness. And normally this weakness comes in the form of help, or the supplement comes in the form of help. And I said earlier that I've been receiving so many DMs from people who are telling me their stories, who are inquiring about my services, who want to know how it is I can help them. And I'm so glad to tell you that on the 20th of February, that is in a couple of days, I will be hosting a webinar. I told you on the first video of the year, or the second or the third, I can't remember, that I will be bringing back the things that worked brilliantly in the past. And one of those things was a webinar called A Purpose That Pays the Bills. And I know that a lot of people are like, I do want to follow my purpose, but will it pay my bills though? Well, I'm here to say it will. It can. And I want to show you exactly how. So join me as I offer you help on that webinar. It's completely free. You just need to put down your name, your email address via the link that is going to be left in the description box. And let's meet on the 20th at 6 p.m. South African Standard Time. And let me take you through what I did to discover my purpose, to align it to a profession, and to now thrive in that profession. If you are interested on how this whole thing works, what the framework is, what you need to do, how you need to think, all the tools that you will need, then you would have come to the right place. I can't wait to host you. I'm so excited to see you. And until then, I will catch you on the next video. Ciao!